Minasan, Mac Mechanic here, and welcome back to another deck profile video in which today I'll be going through some of the very interesting deck in which it has been topping a lot lately with BCS, with Bushiroad Phase, English format. This deck has been dominating the meta a lot lately, surprisingly to me as well, which is Ange. Ange is just one of those decks which is so versatile that it can be fit in any deck engine of the clan itself, which is Morbida Triangle, and it's synergized so well that, well, I think it's synergized almost too well to an extent that it became a main Vanguard in many of the decks. So there are many variety to play Ange, but for my variety here, I'll be playing with Loris engine. It's one of the weaker engine, but I feel that I can't really discard away my old play style, which is like a Loris play style. So yep, let's get into it, shall we? So start off, of course, is for Ange. This is a must to play as there's no way for you to add the Ange to hand unless you put in Shizuku engine, which is one of the best engine to work with Ange. And yeah, this card has everything that you need for unlocking, search ability, extra draw, and ability to come back using the card that you discard for the strike cost to call it back. So yeah, this card in general is one of the greatest strider of all time. So definitely need to play 4 of these at all times. 2 Loris. So yes, just now as I mentioned, there are a few I mixed around with the Loris engine, which is one of the weaker engine, but it's actually a very fun to play around with. So yeah, I know that Nina is a better choice here, but there are few cards that works well better with Loris than the Nina, though her strike skill costs more than Nina, but I feel that she's one of the better choice as it's more towards a technical play. She's the better card compared to Nina, so yeah. 2 Lucille. So yes, this card is one of the very best piece combo with the Ange, but you shouldn't play too many as if you manage to force to run into this card, this is one of the worst situation you can go into. If you manage to run into Loris, at least you can still have some benefit with the strike and bouncing back. But this card has nothing. This only works best as rear guards. So play 2 is more than enough. It's the same reason as you play Sai in the success deck. So yep. For Shandy, the square through version, of course, the king of the early play needs to be played in this deck. Well, this girl has everything that you need. You can just swarm the whole field, get some draws, and she got a power boost. So if you play Harmony deck, so at least you can get some hits on the opponent. And yeah, this thing is just way too good to not to play 4 of it. That's nothing much to say, it's just way too good to discard. I mean, you can draw 2 on your turn 2, which is extremely awesome. For Marionette, so one thing that I play for is because of Marionette, I mean the GB2 restriction, and because it has GB2, Ange can be searched by Ange. And the second thing is that if you didn't manage to write into Ange, at least you have Loris, which is allow her to get that extra 3 here, in which if you have fulfill his Harmony, it's at least a 15k card on its own. So this is a very good card to play with, and this is one of the few cases where Loris is better than Nina. So yep, moving on. 3 Sandy. Well, this thing can be used as a G Guardian, so there's not much to say here. And with a deck that has ability to repurpose that G Guard as much as they want, this is one of the few cards that help you to achieve that. So yeah, can play 4 if you want to also, but I feel that 3 is just a nice number as it's provide enough defense because of how many draws that the Ange deck gives. So yeah, 3 is a nice number for me. 1 Feluca. So yeah, this thing is like an ultimate blocker for all the hand restriction. I shall remove my deck stack here. So yeah, this thing is the ultimate guard restriction counter in the way that it's until now, other than Gidarius, this is only card that can bypass Ishikishima, can bypass Balam, or just any guard restrict cards, which doesn't restrict like the grades are like Wailing Towers like that. So this thing is really good, though it's a little bit RNG factor where based on how much you can get, but this is one of the few cards where if you know how to play it, it can get you out of a very sticky situation. So play 1 is more than enough as Counter Blast 2 is still very heavy, and even though we have a lot of counter charger, you still want to keep a few counter blasts to do some offensive play. So yeah, for Akari, well, same reason as Shandy, and the main reason why build meta become extremely good is Akari plus Shandy early game. So that means that at the earlier of the turn, you can use Shandy effect to draw 2. Then during the late game, you can use Akari. After the attack hits, you can use Akari to draw even more cards. So it's technically recover your hand size extremely fast. Though the sad part about Akari is it only can bounce the Harmony unit, which is not too bad. Because of sometimes you just want those units to stay on the field, and well, you just want the draw only. So this card is great. For Subaru, so there's were a lot of argument to go with who you should you play Subaru in Ange deck, and after I have tested a lot, though I haven't recorded, though I have tested a lot, I'm very positive that you should play 4 of Subaru at least. In a way, for this one reason, it has ability to counter resist, and if you know, one of the few meta deck that currently is on the Rampage Lady is Shiranui and CTB. So this 2 has a way for you to control your, kind of like control your rear guards, especially the Hetero Hound, which is an extremely annoying card to deal with. Subaru helped me to guarantee the attack to go through, in which way it's helped me to protect a lot lately. And for the Shiranui case, it helped to protect from Kesuho Gun, which is the one that can take control of your back row and use it for guard. So this card helps to prevent that, to make sure that your attack go through and your unit stay in Harmony. If you go into like out turn or just any unit that goes into Harmony, ensure that it still stay there before and after you attack. So play 4 of this really helps. Sadly, this only restricted to GB2, and it cannot be searched by Ange. Please do note that carefully, as this is very important. And yeah, there's nothing much to say about Subaru. I mean, it's a resist giver. What else you can ask it for? For Kukuri, since Counter Blast is still very essential with the deck, I decided to play 4 Kukuri instead of 4 Aqua, and since I don't have enough space to play 6 Aqua also, so this is more than enough, and you have a lot of defense with Sandy and Ellie combo already. So yeah, Kukuri. 1 Lako. So Lako is first can be searched by Ange. Second, if you play this during the Megido's turn, it's super scary to be played around with, as for the fact that this thing technically guarantee you a hit. And if your deck is, this is a very few occasion where you don't really need to go into this card a lot, but if you do, you can technically win instantly with this card, as this guarantee 1 hit if you have less than 3 cards in your deck. So yeah, this card is just way too good not to be put in. But well, of course, since this is not pure Ange, it should be played at a minimum, and that's why I play only 1 copy of this in the deck. So move on to the triggers. My deck do not play crooks, which is a stand. I have a few reasons why. One is because crooks trigger timing always screw up my deck, and second thing, play crit is always better. And in this kind of deck where you guarantee to have a few attacks to go through, and so I decided to focus on how hit heavy and pressurizing the deck is. So I decided to go to play 12 crits. 4 of the GB2 crit, which is very important since you play Ange, so sometimes you want to search. 4 of the Shosho on flip crit, this is a self-explanatory. And 4 Marine. For me, this last 4 crit slot can be used any crit, but for me, since I play Loris, this actually helps in a few occasions. So yeah, 12 crits. So for the heals, it's pretty obvious, but it's a Shosho heal effect, which is allow you to counter charge or soul charge by binding self 2 of them when you use for G-Guard, of course. So yeah, this is one of the best heal that the deck currently has. So I don't think there's any better heals to come in, unless there's a better heal when the V-Series come out. So yeah, for now, it's this card. So for the starters, another very important argument here, some people think Akari is still better. Some people goes with Shizuku, which allow you to search for Ange. To me, I goes with Loris Gear Zero. I mean, not because of I want to stick to the Loris team, but then there's the ability to push early game, and it has ability to soul charge, in which in a lot of cases I have found myself lacking souls. So helping soul charging also helping to filter a deck out very quickly, which when allow you to use Laco much more quicker also. So yeah, to me this is a better starter compared to the recommended 2. So yep, for out. Of course, this is one of the gameplay of the Ange deck itself, ability to deal shit ton of damage, and well, ability to allow you to do multiple attacks. And this is the reason why I don't play Crooks. I know Crook is ridiculously strong if you know how to play with Lucio, but I feel that you don't really need to do that. You might as well go for a power boost and a crit. A crit will force the opponent to guard, guaranteed to guard, because of the fact that you deal 2 damage at them. So yeah, that's why I decided to focus my deck on crit instead of the stance. And yeah, this is one of the few reasons why it allowed me to do that. To Olivia, well, the same reason as Alp, but on a weaker scale. So I don't really go into this card often unless after I use both of my arcs and it still fails, Olivia is the next choice for me. And same argument goes to how I play 12 crits. This thing has gained itself a crit though doesn't gain power, which allow you to actually pressure the opponent in such a way that they need to guarantee throw a consent or at least G-guard at least. So yeah, this is more like if you cannot finish the game, you usually go into this. Or Final Priscilla. Final Priscilla is, well, compared to Olivia, is a bit of a harder case to use, but if you G-guard a lot, you definitely can use her, and she is definitely a much better version of Olivia. It's like what make Alps good and make it GBA. So yeah, this thing is one of the best features that the deck can ask for. You imagine that you bounce 2 Lucio back to hand and maybe just some random booster and you call back, you technically pass any 3 units 5k 2 times, and that's actually pretty scary. Plus her own effect, which plus another 5k. This is a very scary card to play, and this is one of the few times that this is one of the best finisher that Bermuda has, as for the fact that this is one of the most offensive card this clan has to offer. Ontirua, well, she's a restander and I barely go into her for most case, but it's always nice to have her in my deck, so I just play one just in case. Yeah, that's about it. One Ange. So some people prefer to go other G4 as there's a much better choice there, but to me it's just a swap between this card and one more card, which is the Loris Grade 4, which also the same reasons goes to Olivia. It has the ability to reset your field properly, and at the same time it's allow you to hit quite hard. But for now, I'm go for the technicality, so I go with the so-called unlocking ability of the Ange. So yep, play 4, and this thing is a quad drive and hit freaking hard. What else you can ask it for? Though I don't go into this often nowadays. One Megiddo? Well, of course, if you play premium format or G standard format, you need to play at least one Zeros Dragon if you want to go competitive. So yeah, Megiddo. Sadly, I do not have Megiddo yet as I'm a poor guy. So I'm just going to start with my original Megiddo first. One Sea Breeze. Yeah, there's nothing else you can talk about this card, so let's move on. Too early. Well, this is one of the few reasons why you play a lot of Sundays in the deck. It's a reusable G Guardian. The reason that I decided to use only 2 of them is because, well, if you play more than 2 of them, it's kinda lock you from play properly, and at the same time it uses a lot of souls. So just to make sure that I don't go into a lot of souls, I play 2 is more than enough. I mean, with 4 Sentinel in the graveyard and 1 early face up, that's a plus 50k already, so that's a 65k guard. I mean, that thing technically can guard, okay, almost single-handedly can guard the freaking Zoa attack, the Zoa boost attack. So this thing is great. One Sandy. Just like any good murder deck, you should play one of these, as this is one of the few cards that this is one of the few early cards that is the best to play early game. So yeah, Sandy. For me, I just choose to play one because, well, to me these other 2 cards also has a better synergy with the deck itself. One Leona, just in case you need some play piece in your throw into your graveyard, so you can just bounce away, and yeah, it's just a throw card around lah. So yep, there's not much to say about Leona. This is not Prism, so yep. And last G-Guard I choose to play is Citron. I mean, Citron helps me to... Citron has a few times that it can be useful when you don't have an empty Regard on the field. You can just use this card to bounce. Though that only works for the early games. So like during the late games, I usually don't go into G-Guard that often because I can just go into Ellie. But as a first few turn G-Guard, this is one of the best card to go. Aside from the Sandy, if you you're going first and you cannot strike it, this is one of the few good G-Guards to go into. And that is all I have for today, guys. So in conclusion, this deck has a lot of technicality going on, and if you play in premium format right now, this is one of the few decks where it's not scared of the V series card as of now. So as the time goes by, this deck relevance will go lower, but I hope that the V series Bermuda really bring up their standards quite a lot. So that's all I have for today, guys. If you guys really enjoyed this deck list, leave in the comments below and a thumbs up on my video. And if you guys have any other idea that you think that I should change with the deck, leave in the comments below as well. And of course, lastly, don't forget to like and share this video if you guys really enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel Mac Megane by hitting that subscribe button and the bell button. And this is Mac Megane logging out.